What's up, y'all? This is Boxing Mind TV. This video is about Jaron Boots Ennis and what's next for him. What's the next fight that should be available for him to fight to showcase his skills once again? Because last night was a great showing of his skills, his assets, his power, everything. Able to show all his abilities last night and dominating Roiman Villa. So I was thinking, like, what should be the next fight for him? I feel like he should be fighting the next top 10 fighters in the welterweight division right now. And I would love for him to mix it in with Keith Thurman, the Yordanis Ugas, who else? Who else in the top? Though I know those two for sure. I know it has some other names. Oh, I want him to get in the mix with Vergil Ortiz and Stanionis. Now, if Stanionis and Vergil Ortiz fight would have happened, it was supposed to happen on the same day. It would have been a perfect setup for them to fight the winner of each fight, and that would have been a big thing. A big build up to that fight would have been either Vergil Ortiz or Stanionis fighting Jaron Ennis. And that would have been a great fight for them fighting on the same night too. So it would have been talked about immediately. But as you know, the Stanionis and Vergil Ortiz fight didn't happen because Vergil Ortiz, from what has been reported, is that he had to pull out the fight because he passed out when he weighed himself before the fight, and due to health reasons, he had to drop out the fight. So he has to take care of himself, take care of his body. Health comes first. But as a fan, I would have loved that. We would have loved that fight to happen. But so I sit back and think, like, what's next for Jaron Ennis Boots? Because he's not going to fight Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence next. Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence are booked for 2 fights. And the first fight hasn't happened yet. And the second fight is going to happen later in the year. So Jaron Boots wouldn't be able to fight those 2 guys because they'll be tied in with each other. So I'm thinking, like, what's next? What's the next fight for him? After that performance, I don't feel like, I'm not saying Keith Thurman or other top guys wouldn't want to fight Jaron Boots Ennis to show him that there's levels to it or whatever the case is, or to make it hard for him to stay his claim as a top welterweight. But I feel like these guys is not as active enough. So I feel like it wouldn't be fair to put a Keith Thurman in there with Boots right now, or Yordanis Ugas. I don't even think they would take that fight right now. I'm not saying they're afraid or anything. It's just the fact that I think guys want to be more active before facing Boots, and the type of tenacity and combos and the stamina that Boots has. You want to be as sharp as possible before you get in that ring with him. Otherwise, he's going to do damage and make you look real bad if you're not prepared. And plus, you can't really put that no tune-up thing on everybody. On everybody, just like Errol Spence. Errol Spence has been doing. No tune-up. He goes in there and fights the best fighters, and deals with the results later. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can keep doing that or feels comfortable in doing that type of thing like Errol Spence is doing. Because eventually that could catch up to you. Everybody wants to be sharp, wants to stay sharp, wants to keep fighting. That's probably one of the reasons why Terrence Crawford, even though everybody was kind of annoyed with Terrence Crawford not sealing the deal with Errol Spence to fight him at the end of the year last year, but instead he fought somebody else because the negotiations fell through, whatever the case was. But Terrence Crawford probably understood his body and how he trains, and that he needed if he's going to go fight Errol Spence, he needs that tune up. He needs to stay sharp. And Boots is the type of fighter right now. He likes to fight. He likes to stay sharp. He wants to stay busy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to be sit on the shelf waiting on a big fight. So he'll fight anybody, really. You know what I'm saying? But Keith Thurman and Ugas coming off that eye injury, hasn't fought anybody since he fought Spence. And Keith Thurman been out of the ring for a while too, over a year. So I feel like those two guys, they're kind of coming in, if they do fight each other, coming in evenly because they both been out of the ring at the same amount of time. So it's kind of like an even matchup. You know what I'm saying? Instead of fighting a guy like Boots that's been sharp, been active, been busy, and is ready to go, it's gonna be no ring rust. That's gonna be on him at all. So I don't think Keith Thurman and you guys is gonna fight Boots, even though Boots wants to fight them next if possible. Um, and then also Virgil Ortiz and Staniosis. I don't think it'll be fair for Staniosis to go in and fight a guy like Boots Ennis right away. That's gonna be a hard, tough fight, and he's been sitting around waiting for Virgil Ortiz to get right, and Virgil Ortiz dropped out the fight twice. So Staniosis has been going through 2 training camps that hasn't, he hasn't, redeem the rewards from doing the training camps. Just basically kind of like wasting money a little bit on his trainers, his sparring partners, getting ready for the fight. So he's not gonna be quickly to jump back in the ring and fight Boots. I don't think he would, what I'm saying, after not be able to get in the ring and shake that ring rust off a little bit. And like I say, Boots has shown again that he's a dangerous fighter, or could be a dangerous fighter for anybody if you're not on your A game, because he's coming and the boy doesn't get tired. That boy do not get tired, man. He just keep coming. For what they said about him, man, that in his training, his sparring, he looks just as fresh as he did on the first round in the first round as he will be looking in the 12th round. He looks fresh, looks ready to go. He can go to 15 rounds, back to the old days. So anybody that fights Boots wants to be ready, wants to be sharp. So I was thinking like maybe he should fight. I was looking at the list of top welterweights in the weight class, and he could fight Alexis Roca. I think I'm saying his name right, because he fought this earlier this year, I believe. And then there's Cody Crowley. Some other guys he could fight if they can make a fight with those guys. You know what I'm saying? I think Alexis Roca only has 1 defeat. And Cody Crowler, he's undefeated. So it'd be some guys that he should look forward to try to fight, because they're in the top 10 welterweights. If you could fight them, if you can get a shot with them. Or I was thinking too that Boots could probably fight Blair Cobbs. They had a little back and forth at one point, but Blair Cobbs hasn't fought in almost a year too. So it's just like these guys are inactive, and I don't think they guys want to jump in real quick and fight Boots when they're being inactive in the sport. So it's like I kind of have to throw that out of there. You throw that out of there too. That would have been a good fight for Boots, though. That would have been a great fight, but that's not gonna happen. So I don't know who should Boots fight next. Those 2 names I just mentioned, Alexis Roca, he had beat Blair Cobbs. He knocked out Blair Cobbs earlier last year, I think. And Cody Crowler, he's undefeated. So, but he's in the top 10 in the weight class. So those guys he could really get in the mix with. So, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Who should Jaron Ennis fight next? Who should he aim towards to? Because a lot of these guys that we want him to fight, the names that we want him to fight, they're inactive. So I don't think they would jump in there as quick as we want them to go fight Jaron Ennis, to show where Jaron Ennis really is in the weight class, as far as being the top elite fighter in the weight class. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see who he fights next, and we'll just go from there. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. It's Boxing Mind TV, and I'm out.